Yes, people, and welcome back again. We're here with the PSG Liverpool preview, and today we're going to be discussing the lineup prediction, score prediction, and how much of a tough tie this could be for the Reds as they do travel to Paris first in the Champions League. So, obviously, we got drawn PSG, what was it, a week ago, and my instant thoughts was if this was a couple of weeks ago, months ago, I fancy Liverpool to quite comfortably do Paris over 2 legs. Now I've had a bit more time to think about it. I do think this will be a tough tie for Liverpool, but it's one that I fancy to get through. And reasoning because first leg at Paris Saint-Germain, it's going to be a tough game. I think in the first leg. I think look when we look back at Anfield, we'll get to Anfield. I fancy Liverpool to fully progress. But I think in this first game, it's going to be really difficult, in my opinion. And you look at PSG's form in recent games, they've been scoring goals for fun, beating Toulouse, Brest 7-0, Lyon 3-2, Stade Brésil 7-0, Lille 4-1. And in the Champions League, at the back end of the season, PSG turned up. You know, they've actually turned up because there was a point where it looks like PSG was potentially going to go out. And ever since when they beat Manchester City, they turned up. Let's go to their fixtures and results. You know, they beat Man City 4-2, and I believe there was 2-0 down in that tie, turned it around. Then they beat Stuttgart 4-1. So, and then they ended up beating Brest 3-0 in the knockout league phase, and then beat them 7-0, 10-0 aggregate. Is that the biggest scoreline on in the Champions League in terms of just outright best 10-0? I mean, I know Arsenal lost 5-2. What was it, 10-2 Bayern Munich over 2 legs, but Bayern conceded 2. 10-0 is mad. And I'm not trying to make out like some Brest. Let's not try and make out Brest are like some League Two equality team. You know, they are in the Champions League, so they are a respected club. But yeah, they've turned it up since, and obviously, look, they are gonna. Looks like ultimately they are gonna win the league again this season. And as it stands for them, they've actually got no players out, unlike Liverpool. And obviously, for the Liverpool side of things, our past 5 games, 2-2 at Goodison, which now looking back, you could argue that was a good point considering how things have gone in the league. Beating Wolves 2-1, 2-2 at Villa, good point again, and then I feel like the last 2 games is where Liverpool have really turned up, and I think this is where it's going to make an interesting tie because Liverpool went to Manchester City first time in 10 years, won there at the Etihad, and then obviously we very much easily dismantled Newcastle at Anfield a couple of days ago. So I think this game is going to be a good one in the making. I remember when we played PSG a couple of years ago. Let's look at the head-to-head. We beat them at Anfield. Have we actually faced them 3 times? Or 2 times, wow. Yeah, because I remember Bobby Firmino scored late in the PSG game. So I think we went 2-0 up. Then they scored 2. And then Bobby scored. And then obviously we lost 2-1 there. Yeah, I mean, what was the lineup for that game? Firmino, Salah, Wijnaldum, Hendo, Milner, Lovren at centre back, Joey G at left back. God, look at that PSG team then. Verratti, Kimpembe, Silva, Buffon, Neymar, Di Maria, Cavani. Yeah, it has certainly changed over the years. And obviously, look, there's some big games we'll speak about, but the danger men for me is for PSG is Ousmane Dembele. I mean, Ousmane Dembele this season has been on fire. 18 goals, 5 assists. He looks like he's proper reignited his career. because obviously due to injuries and stuff like that, falling out of the Barca team, it's kind of hindering. But he's kind of fought his way back in PSG. Other players to watch out for, I've always had it for years. I think Hakimi's qualities on 4 goals and 5 assists this season. Joao Neves, absolute baller. I wanted him at Liverpool, 100 million I think he costs, and he's been probably one of the best players this season. 2 goals and 8 assists. Barcola, again, another wide player that we're going to have to watch out for. 12 goals, 6 assists this season. Kvaratskhelia has obviously just come in and he's hit the ground running. He looks really good. So there's players to watch out for. I think like this game, from a Liverpool standpoint of view, it's going to really come down to how Liverpool do on the wide areas, how we defend on the wide areas with Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson, or Costa Tsimikas who plays. Again, if we can nullify the Ousmane Dembélés and the Barcolas, I fancy Liverpool to really get a result in Paris, because obviously they are the danger men. They have been the best players for PSG this season. So if we can do our business on those, I fancy Liverpool to do the business on the end of the pitch, because PSG do concede goals, so, and obviously with our attack this season, you know what I mean? So it's going to be a tough game, first game in Paris, but we'll talk about my lineup prediction, my score prediction, later, but we'll do my lineup builder prediction. Who do I think will start over in Paris? So let's get it ready. In goal, I think it's going to be Alisson, of course. Very, very easy to predict. Man like Alisson, Becker. I remember a couple of years ago when we played PSG, when Neymar had the Alisson Becker top on. At fullback, it's going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold. I feel like if Conor Bradley was fit, I would actually potentially start Conor Bradley, to be honest with you, especially for the first leg, because I feel like PSG are going to go for it a little bit more, because obviously, going away to Anfield in the second leg is not easy for any team, and I feel like if you're going to Anfield in the second leg, you need to kind of somewhat take a result and be probably winning the tie if you want to go through, unless you're Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? So I think if Conor Bradley was fit, I think I would have favoured a Conor Bradley over Alexander-Arnold right now. And at left back, I think it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Tsimikas did start against Newcastle. I actually think it's going to be Andy Robertson. And my reasoning, because, yes, Robertson he's not been amazing this season. But for Robertson, I feel one thing I've noticed for Robertson in the big games when it has mattered, like the Man City aways and that massive run of form we went on in October, and when we're playing every 3-4 days, Robertson has the experience in these type of games. And in the big games, he has somewhat stepped up this season, and he's not been as poor. So I feel like we could see a Robbo start in this game. At centre-back, Kanat is going back home, back to Paris. And I think he's going to be starting in this game alongside, obviously, Virgil van Dijk, having that nice long weekend of rest. And a couple of players who I think have benefited from this nice rest by the time the game does start. So I'm recording this on the Monday, but obviously the game kicks off on the Wednesday. Is Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister. And Ryan McAllister and Szoboszlai did speak in the interview after the Newcastle game. Look, we are a bit tired. It's nice to have that bit of week of rest, obviously, with Liverpool not playing in the FA Cup. On the right, it's obviously going to be the best player in the world, the Ballon d'Or winner this year, Mohamed Salah. Just unbelievable. And if you see us through in this tie. In the 10, I think it's going to be Dominic Szoboszlai. He's had his week rest. It's going to be him. It's going to be anyone else. I mean, you could potentially see a Curtis, but I think it will be Szoboszlai. And I think on his slot is going to go back to that respected 4-2-3-1. Obviously, not with the 4 midfielders anymore, because the man who I think is starting off the left is Cody Gakpo. I think a reason why Liverpool actually went to the 4 midfielders, one, because Cody was injured, and I feel like we wanted that bit more solidified to try and see out games. Is probably one of the reasons why we started with the 4 midfielders. And it was all right, but I want to see go back to seeing Cody Gakpo off the left-hand side for me, in my opinion. And on the front line is going to be Jota. Jota from now to the end of the season, he turns up. He turns up left foot, right foot, no matter what. I want to see Jota start. So that is my team to play against PSG. Alisson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Ibrahim Konate, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson, Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, Mohamed Salah, Dominic Szoboszlai, Cody Gakpo, and Jota. So yeah, that is my lineup prediction. My score prediction: I've gone for PSG 1, Liverpool 2. I think they will bag a goal. Look, they've got to bag something to go away to Anfield in just over a week's time, a week tomorrow, on the Tuesday. But I think Liverpool will come out as winners. I think this could easily very much be a 1-1, a 2-1 either side. And then, like I said earlier on the video, I do think Liverpool will progress ultimately, especially going back to Anfield. So that is my lineup prediction, my score prediction, also my thoughts on the game. Look, I think it's going to be tough. But ultimately, I think if we could nullify the likes of Bacola's, the Neves, and try and stop him getting on the ball, ultimately, I do think Liverpool should be going through, based off the past couple of games. Now we're coming back into form a bit. I fancy Liverpool to get the job done. So, yeah, that is the preview for PSG versus Liverpool. We'll be doing a live watch-along live stream on Wednesday. Also, we'll quickly run through some of the other Champions League games. Why not? What else have we got? We've got Club Brugge, Villa. We'll give off a quick score predictions. I think Villa nick it 1-0. Dortmund Lille could be a decent one, but I think Dortmund go through. PSV Eindhoven versus Arsenal. Don't know if you want to call it a shock result, but I'm going 1-0 PSV. Probably the games of the tie, the whole round of the 16, the Madrid derby. This one's going to be tough, man. This has got goals in it. I watched Barcelona Atletico Madrid last week. That finished 4-4. Atletico Madrid can score goals, but they can also concede. Same with both sides. I'm going to go with a barnstorming classic. I'm going to go 3-2 Real Madrid. Final at Inter. Inter, man, they can just see our results. 1-0 Inter. Bayern Munich Leverkusen. 2-1 Leverkusen. They've got a really good record with Xabi Alonso against Bayern. Probably one of the best games, the best game of the Champions League phase. What was it? Benfica Barca finished like 5-4. I think it's going to be a classic again. Barcelona can score goals, they can see goals. I'm going 3-2 Barcelona. Obviously, I've already said 2-1 Liverpool, and then the games for next week. Some interesting games we are going to be doing tomorrow on the Tuesday. We're going to be doing Club Brugge Villa and Atletico Madrid streams, and obviously on the Wednesday, Liverpool PSG. So that is my preview. My score predictions for the Champions League as well. Make sure you take care. Love for the love, and big up to everyone that's subscribing and viewing right now. Take care.